Oh wow. They're all right here. We're not.
No one's talking. Is there any volume? Hmm. Oh, there's that. Hmm. Why am I having problems? Hmm. It's happened once before. What the heck?
Okie doke. Abby, give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Great. Okay, what time is it? 7:01.
7:01.
All right. Abby, do you know what? I think we're still waiting on some people, right? Yes. Okay, we're gonna give it.
We had about 30 people, but I don't know how many are gonna show up. Let's give it 5 more minutes.
Yeah, we'll give it 5 more minutes. What do you want? Can we smile? 2, 3, cheese.
You cannot make it.
Just a reminder to everyone at home, if you guys want to take some pictures of you doing your beer tasting, selfies or group shots, we are going to be doing a story in the next issue of Saratoga Living about this event with a bunch of party pictures.
Cool.
So do that. Just not.
How to keep it on. Shut it.
Oh, you're just so you make sure you're not talking about Deathwish for the whole time.
Yeah. But I would like to keep it on, but it keeps shut.
So how many do we have? 16, 18?
Oh, that's what I want.
I was wondering where those were. You have your voters.
Say stands.
Yeah.
So doing that, mine was doing that.
I muted them. No, we're not muted. 7:03. Wait. A couple more minutes.
We
20
have
people, right?
20 people.
I mean, everyone picked up the kits, so I'd imagine everyone's gonna be. Maybe some people they got 2 kits and they're doing it together. Type of thing.
They wanted more booze
They wanted more booze.
in Portland.
Is there any more of that bourbon strength stuff in there, probably. Your ovens. Might be a nice nightcap. Yeah, to finish up, yeah. Yeah, nice little cheers. Has our number gone up or down or something?
It's pretty stuck at 20, it looks like. So I guess we will get started then. So thank you guys all for coming here. I'm here at Northway. I'm Natalie. I'm the managing editor at Saratoga Living and Capital Region Living. I'm here with Max and Joe. Max is on the sales and operations side of Northway, and Joe is the head brew guy. So they're going to be kind of talking about the beer stuff throughout the night. And I just wanted to go over a few things to start off. First of all, I first met Max actually when I came in here when I was writing a story for Capital Region Living. If you haven't gotten an issue, I think most of you got an issue in your kit, but this is the cover. Bring it closer. And I just wanted to give a shout out to Dustin Lanterman, who is on the call tonight. He actually shot the photos of all the beers, and Steve is, can't tell if Steve is on, but Steve is the designer of Capital Region Living. So together they put together this cover. There's a whole beer section in here. Northway is mentioned a few times. So I got talking to Max and I was like, we got to do something together. So I just wanted to go over a few things about the evening. This is not necessarily a traditional beer tasting. The beers aren't in any order, but you are welcome to, we're going to be going through each of the different Northway Brewing partners, and you can drink the beers as they come along. If you have two people there, we'd recommend maybe only opening one beer at a time, because I would be impressed if someone drank all of the beers. One person drank all the beers. Remember that this is a marathon, not a sprint. We got a lot to cover tonight. And even though you do have a lot of food options from the partners, it's not necessarily a pairing, like not the cheese doesn't necessarily go perfectly with the beer made with the Argyle cheese farmer products. So you're welcome to snack on the bread or anything as we go along, but just know it's not necessarily bite for drink type of thing. And so first we're gonna go to on a little tour of the brewery, and then we'll go through each of Northway's 4 partners, and Max and Joe will talk about each of the beers.
Before we go there, we did give you an exclusive brand new beer, Miracle on Ice beer, celebrating the gold medal that the USA team won in 1980. It's a beer we just released, and we thought as a little bonus gift, we'd give that to everybody, and maybe you might want to crack that open as a real soft, casual beer to have when we take you through the tour.
And feel free to ask questions in the chat. Maybe Abby can get that chat started, and we'll check in maybe after each partner and see if there's any questions for Max and Joe. And I think besides that, we are ready to go on the tour. In 1 second.
Hi, this is Max. I want to welcome everyone to tonight's event. This is not something that we normally do as a brewery. We don't do a lot of virtual stuff. We tend to like to do things face to face. We tend not to really talk about the beer. We like to put it out in front of people and see what you think, and then have a little back and forth on it. So this will be a little different for us. Part of the reason we're doing this is we were approached by Natalie, who can be very persuasive from Saratoga Living, to do something different and unique. And this is going to be a night where we can showcase our partnerships, beers we make in partnership with 4 other local companies, which is really kind of core to our kind of belief here at Northway. So that is kind of what got us to do this. And then when Saratoga Living generously decided to donate some of the proceeds from tonight to Brew United, that was sort of the icing on the cake for us. Brew United is a 501c3 that we started with 5 other local breweries to kind of help out hospitality workers when COVID hit, in the form of direct payments. To this point, between the spring program that we ran and then help for the holidays, because of generous donations of High Peaks Media, Death Wish Coffee, Ball Corp, and a ton of individual donations, we've been able to write direct payments for about $50,000. So tonight's event is going to help us get us over that hump and help a bunch more people. So thanks for participating. Thanks for your generosity. And we look forward to enjoying a beer with you. So this is our brew house. As you can see, it's a direct fire. And this is 50 barrel kettle. All right, so 50 barrels, equals 100 half kegs. So quite a bit. Luckily with this system, we're able to brew kind of at any size within it. So we're going to use mash mixer, and also it's a Lawlor. We're going to separate all the liquid. We're going to extract every bit of flavor that we can from the grain, and then we're going to pump it over to the other kettle. We're going to bring it to a boil. We're going to really pull all the flavors together. We're going to reduce the liquid till we get it right to the sugar content that we need. And in some cases, we'll start adding hops to add some body and bitterness, and just start building flavors. And the whirlpool the liquid out, which will take all the remaining sediment out. We're going to pump this through a heat exchanger and into one of the fermenters. We also have this little bit here, which is kind of cool. This is a small pilot system that allows us to brew with all the integrity of the larger system, but on a much smaller level, so we can experiment, feel around those beers, test them out, try them out in the tap room, and if they work, we take them to a bigger level. Okay, so once we come on the whirlpool, the heat exchange, we're going to go into one of our fermenters, and we'll see here we have 100 barrel fermenters, 50 barrel fermenters, and that's the 20s. That's where we're going to introduce yeast. Yeast is going to eat the sugars, create CO2 and alcohol. And the brewers watch this on a regular basis. And once we hit, after 10 to 12 to 14 days, once we hit the number that we want, we're going to stop fermentation. We're going to seal it up, and we're going to allow that CO2 to really permeate into the beer. We're going to chill it, settle it out, filter it, and run it over to the right beer tank. We'll use this to clarify our lagers and some of our beers that we want to be really bright in there. Some other ones we will just allow it to settle out. These are our conditioning tanks, right here tanks. Once the beer is complete, set it in here, get the carbonation directly dialed into exactly what we want. At that point, we'll pump it over the canning line and the kegging line. We have a 11 head canner. One of the cool things we do is we have all of our cans with nitro drip. And what that does is purges an extra level of security for us that purges the CO2 out of the can. So here's our kegging line, and here's our canning line in an 11 head canner. They can do about 30 cans a minute, a pretty quick pace for us. We go through our pack tech, and then we're ready to go. And this is probably maybe everyone's favorite part. This is our cold room, where all our conditioners rest and get ready to ship. We're in a relatively full state. We have deliveries, pickups from our distributors starting tomorrow. I'd say by the end of the week, 80% of this product will be out into the market. And here we are in our tap room. We're very fortunate to have a very large space. As you can see, we'll have 20 different beers on tap. Everything brewed here. We'll have all of our year-round and core brands, plus any number of one-offs items, 3 to 4 that you really can only get here and only get on draft. This is where we sample, we test, we get feedback from our customers, and if it warrants, we move to a bigger batch and move to cans. Over here, you'll see our can selection, which is pretty diverse, from ales to lagers to sours, and fruited sours, and IPAs. And we're just in the process now of bringing in items from all the partners that you'll hear about tonight, selling all their ingredients, all their items as well. And if you look around, you'll just see that we're able to keep a very clear space, a lot of distance between tables, a lot of open air. And if it were a little nicer out, we'd take you outside and show you our massive outdoor space. Luckily, one of the laws that changed allows us to pretty much use our entire parking lot. So once the weather changes, we're going to have tons of room. We'll fire up our food truck, and hopefully tonight you'll enjoy the beers and look forward to seeing us here at the brewery.
boy.
All right. So that's a little look at Northway. Normally, Joe would have been the guy to do the tour, but we're a pretty small company, and when we had to do the recording, he was actually out plowing. So I now have to ask him how close I was to accurate.
Very good job, Dave. Whirlpool's hard to say sometimes.
Say it now.
Whirlpool.
Perfect. Okey-doke. Awesome. Did you want to talk about ingredients a little bit, grains?
A little bit, yeah. Kind of glance over some of the raw materials that go into the actual process. So our base malts, 2-row. It's one of my favorites to work with. It's a blank canvas, so you can pretty much add any other specialty malt to it and get a variety of flavors out of it. So this is one of those specialty malts, Midnight Wheat. It's a bitterless dark malt that adds a lot of chocolate and roasty flavors without the bitter flavors to it. And of course the hops, which everyone sure knows at this point for a variety of reasons.
So one of the things with malts, right, you can go from pale all the way to dark, and then everywhere in between. So you got amber malts and sweet and dry malts that'll give you like that darkness with no sweetness, amber with a lot of sweetness, and that's, you know, his expertise is balancing those to whatever flavor profile we're looking for. And hops, I mean, are all over the board right now. I mean, it used to be so simple with just a you know, very traditional variety to now, you know, we're using proprietary stuff, experimental stuff. Again, all off the smell, the taste, the notes, and then his expertise to turn them into incredible beers.
One of the things I learned when I was writing that story was that hops grow naturally in New York State. And that kind of like kicked off the Albany's like brewing scene back, like way back in the 1800s, which I didn't know. I don't know if you have anything to say about that.
How long do we have?
We won't get into that.
Yeah.
So in a second, we're going to watch a little video from the first partner that we're going to talk about, which is Death Wish. And I don't know if you want to say a few words about the partnership before we watch
Yeah, I think Joe and I both were at Saratoga Brewing, obviously in Saratoga, and it was kind of a interesting business model, let's say, but we put a lot of focus in the Saratoga brand, and really our first partnership was with Death Wish, and it was really a very anecdotal thing. I literally walked into Coffee Traders and said, I work at the brewery and wonder if you guys might want to do a beer with us. I had never heard of Death Wish or anything, right? And the guy, blah, blah, blah. One guy gives me a call, another guy returns my call. Next thing you know, we're doing Death Wish beers. They were small, 4, 5, 6 employees and a couple production guys. And we were with them through the whole rise to the Super Bowl commercial and the blow up. And unfortunately, and we did 5 or 6 or 7 beers with them, light beers, dark beers. And Saratoga Brewing went out of business. I dropped out of the scene for a while. Joe came up here, and they were approached by probably every other brewery in the area to work with them. But they are loyal as a day is long, and they stayed and waited. We brought the team together, and now we've reinvented Death Wish up here at Northway.
Awesome. Yeah, so we'll watch a video from them right now.
Uh-oh. Where'd my video go?
Go back to, oh yeah.
There we go.
Nice.
Born out of the agonizing cries from our weak, overtired bodies, Death Wish Coffee Company set out to fulfill the demand for a more powerful, energizing beverage. By experimenting with a variety of organic beans and roasting techniques, we created the world's strongest coffee. Upon the completion of our exclusive roasting style, we quickly packaged the cooled beans into degassing valved bags to ensure that you receive the freshest, most flavorful coffee possible. But it doesn't end with a great product. The same passion we put into developing this unique coffee is also poured into our commitment to our customers. We have a 100% no bullshit guarantee. But if this is not the strongest coffee you've ever had, we'll gladly give you a refund. Some may say coffee this strong is irresponsible. We like to think of it as revolutionary.
So kind of in the spirit of Death Wish and being revolutionary, we did not want to just necessarily always just put coffee in dark beers, which we certainly do, but we also want to expand and broaden our horizons a little bit. And so this beer, Pale Bearer, is our hazy IPA with Death Wish coffee. This beer has been honestly footballed around a little bit. It was meant to be released last spring, right when COVID hit, and unfortunately the label that we had designed was kind of some skeleton type people carrying a casket, and it certainly did not feel appropriate to what was going on in our country right then, as people were dying with COVID. So we actually paused this beer and put it on hold, redesigned the label, and brought it back out in the fall. I'm going to show you a little.
They're having a little bit of trouble hearing us, so we're
Okay.
going to talk louder.
All right.
But this is what is this?
That's just a picture of us meeting at the Hideaway. You'll see Joe and me and our contact John from Death Wish, Chris Mack, who's kind of I don't know, my beer sensei when I never wondering what to do with beer. And obviously it's always Joe's choice, but I try to chime in with what I'd like to see. And Chris gives us a lot of direction. He was actually the guy that suggested a coffee IPA when we were at Saratoga. So
Can I? Sorry, I jumped in late. What beers are we drinking? I had to find the link. I had to get it resent to me.
So
Pale Bearer.
Pale Bear is
first.
this one.
All right.
So you should have gotten 2 little packets of coffee as well. One is which one's the ground?
Ground is Rwandan.
Rwandan, and then the Burundi is the full bean. And if you feel like it, maybe put it out in your hand or on a plate or whatever you got. We did a lot of work and research into trying to find coffees that would work with a hoppy beer, right? So if we just did regular Death Wish coffee, it's just gonna blow the slate beer away. So we talked to John. We said we wanted something fruity, we wanted something aromatic, but still had a coffee flavor. So these are 2 light roasts that they did exclusively for this beer. And the ground is made a cold brew to add a little bit of the flavor, and then the whole bean actually rests the beer on it to give it more of an aroma. So hopefully it'll be a very unique experience for you.
So you put it in your mouth? Do you bite it? Chew it? Or you can bite it, yeah.
So for me, I get that aroma. Not my traditional coffee aroma, which is not what we wanted. It's more fruity, but a lot of it's coming from the coffee and blended with the hops.
Yeah, it doesn't taste like coffee to me at all.
If you had this beer without the coffee in it next to this beer, you would taste the coffee.
Interesting.
The whole trick to this beer was subtlety. Putting coffee into a hazy IPA without overwhelming the hops. The goal here was to use coffees to accentuate the hops. So the esters and the fruity notes in the coffee match with the hops. And then the ultimate goal for me was to have that sort of black coffee finish, which I get subtly. Some people say there's not enough coffee in this beer. To me, this is less about being a coffee beer as a coffee accentuated hazy IPA. You put a fair amount of work into this one. Yeah.
How long does it take to invent a beer?
For the process like this, so we're a little bit lucky in the sense that we did a lot of experimentation at Saratoga with Death Wish. We actually, Joe and I think, did a 38-hour day working on perfecting the cold brew that you guys have cans in your boxes that are now, done by a complete other company. But we developed the process to do the cold brew and how to nitro cold brew it. And obviously we ran into some problems, which is why we worked for 36 hours. But and I honestly believe that's what cemented our relationship, because we worked with them so closely, and even every brew we do is to, I mean, I look at the Death Wish name again. It was 5 people that we were buddies, and now they're a huge company, and it's critical that we respect their brand and that this beer, represents what the quality that they're all about. And to me, I love this beer. I think it's so unexpected, and I love when people fully expect it to be dark and it's not, and that's the surprise.
So you're still partnering with Death Wish. Remember the Black, was it the Black Oktoberfest that you guys made at Saratoga? Was that one?
Yep.
Are you thinking about going down that road this fall?
Probably later this spring. It won't be an Oktoberfest.
Okay, cool.
It'll be a black lager with traditional Death Wish.
Nice.
Label right now, actually. It's almost done.
I still have a few of the tall bottles in my fridge of the oatmeal stout with the Death Wish. Is it the oatmeal stout? Is it? What's that? I still have some of the tall bottles left.
Yeah, Dream Pie, right?
That one's gone, but then there was the other one. Was it an oatmeal one that you had?
Well, we did Dream Pie, we did Paralysis, we did Moon
Dream
Pie.
Pie.
It was Moon Pie.
Dream Pie.
Moon pie.
Was it?
All right, let's
Cool.
go to.
The other.
We'll go to. What are we going to?
Oh, wait.
No,
Obituary.
okay.
Right, we're still talking.
They only sent me one, but I had fridge, so I put them up there. Not that I'm gonna drink them all. We'll be feeling pretty good tomorrow. Or tonight, not feeling good tomorrow.
I'm not sure we asked you to be prepared with a dump cup and maybe a rinse water, but it's up to you. We're dumping and rinsing because we got a lot of beers to try. So Obituary, if you had Death Wish Dream Pie, this is similar. Not exactly the same, but similar. Probably the more typical coffee beer, black as you can imagine. And it's an oatmeal stout. And unlike the last beer, when it goes to your nose, what do you get?
Coffee.
Coffee.
It kind of looks like coffee too.
Yeah. But I've had so many coffee beers that are either so coffee forward that, I don't even know there's another beer. For me, this hits that nice balance of that. It should be, but it's not all about the coffee. And again, now this is more than the last one. What I truly love is that black coffee finish in your mouth, and it just sits there, cleans it up. And at this point, I'm like, did I just have a beer?
I kind of feel like that subtlety is kind of something that's in all of your beers. Like you've mentioned, you don't want to go overboard with any of the flavors. You want the flavors to appeal to a wide audience. So you'll get notes of something, but you're not overwhelmed with whatever it is, whether it's mango or coffee or I don't know.
And that's the skill. That's having brewers that understand it. I mean, yeah, it's so easy to be in your face. And we are with some things, but for the most part, especially on our partnerships, it's trying to respect their ingredient and showcase it, in a intuitive and balanced way.
And it's still a beer at the end of the day. So
Right, it's not
it
coffee.
tastes like beer and it's a combination.
I have a potentially really stupid question,
Yes.
No such thing.
so
I think there is, but
is there a machine in the back there that you pour this into and then it becomes how do you actually use it? Do you actually use the beans and mix it with, is that too stupid to answer?
No, So we get them ground,
Okay.
and I have a smaller vessel that I steep them, let them soak in for a few days. Then I'll kind of strain it through.
Okay, so you like actually kind of like make the coffee.
Yeah.
So in some cases, we'll make cold brew.
Yep.
And honestly, that's the easiest way because now it's just an
Already a
equation,
liquid.
right?
Right.
We'll sit out here and we go, we need this much, and scale it up. The fun part for me is the sort of the dry beaning, like we do dry hopping, right? We take the beer and put hops on it and let it sit. Well, with coffee and with Death Wish coffee, we really had to learn like how long would that sit until it was just right. You leave it too long, it's just going to be all coffee. Leave it too short, you get nothing out of it. So, and I will anecdotally tell a story. And the first time we did it in Saratoga, we tasted the beer every 12 hours or something. It was one of the lighter ones. And all of a sudden, it was Friday around noon, we tasted it. And we look at each other and it's like, it's ready. We were packaging beer for another brewery that we contract brewed for. And we're like, stop, package this.
You had to do it right then.
Yes. Because we were on the weekend, we didn't work,
Right.
production didn't work, and it would have just been ruined. So there's a lot of, between us, we do a lot of touch and feel and taste and back and forth and experimentation, especially when you go into custom roasts. Death Wish custom roast these to a flavor profile, and then he blends it into a beer that he's never worked with to accentuate the beans with the hops, and so it's kind of fun.
Yeah. Cool. Is that it for Death Wish? Anything else?
Thanks.
We love them. They've been great partners, and they've also been great supporters of our charity, Brew United. So yeah,
Sip on that cold brew if you have it in
We do.
your.
If you
Next
want to be
video.
awake all night, you can drink your cold brew.
Natalie, we actually did have a question. Is there caffeine in the beers?
A negligible amount. It's a lot of lab testing. I actually find what amount would be in it, but very, very low. If any.
If someone were super caffeine sensitive, I'd say they might notice it. But if you intake coffee on a consistent, regular basis, I've had people say, I drank that beer, I couldn't sleep. I was like, was it that beer or something else? But yeah, it's
Just tell them to drink more beer.
yeah.
That'll help.
Can you put caffeine in it? I would like to have it for breakfast.
For an idea, I put about, for each can of filter, probably maybe a teaspoon of cold brew coffee in it, if that. So it's a very small amount that makes coffee such a strong flavor that overpowers a lot of things. So it has to be well balanced.
Sweet. So I think we're going to wrap up partnership number 1 and our longest standing, and we're going to move on to a kind of our newest one, really. Cooperstown Distilling. They've just put in the beverage exchange right on Broadway in the old Brugger's building, and we developed a partnership with them. They also have a beverage exchange down in Cooperstown, and we also own the Cooperstown beer brand, so it kind of made sense. So we're just going to show you a little video about Cooperstown Distilling.
I'm the owner and founder of Cooperstown Distillery, located in beautiful Cooperstown, New York, home of Baseball Hall of Fame. We're proud to manufacture some of the finest whiskey, bourbon whiskey in particular, made in the United States. We want to have at some point national recognition, which I think will come through the whiskey portfolio that we're developing and cultivating. in Adirondack Cooperage Barrels, which is a local cooper about an hour up the road from Cooperstown, who we think makes the finest barrel in the United States and adds a profound amount of complexity and finish to our whiskey. But the journey's been great. We're only in the early innings. We like to use baseball metaphors here in Cooperstown. So these are very exciting times. I can't say enough about being in this new building, which just got turned over to us about a month ago, and everybody is on board to ramp up production and to make more great Cooperstown spirits.
I had never been in the beverage exchange in Saratoga until this week when we were doing the pickups there. So I hope that the people that were picking up in Saratoga got to check out that space a little bit. It's like a bar and you can pick up beer. It's really, really cool in there. And Abby was saying, Abby's the.
Can you turn your microphone up a little bit?
Yeah, I think it's up as far as it'll go, but we will talk louder.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
It was fine before.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, now is it okay right now? What's the thing at the bottom? Okay, yeah, we'll just try to talk.
Yeah, it's something about when you come back from the video, your mic goes down somehow.
Interesting. COVID's fault. And I just want to say that we're really grateful to Cooperstown Distillery for giving everyone one of those mini triple play bottles. That was a nice. We originally thought everyone was going to get one little thing, and they ended up donating all of that. So thanks to them. We're trying to work on a little bit of sound stuff. Oh,
How's that?
how is that? Is that too loud? Oh, we got two thumbs up.
All right.
Okay, great.
So
Which beer?
we're gonna do two beers, and these both would have come in the plastic jugs. One labeled CM for chin music, and one labeled LB for lunch break. Some of you will have gotten something a little bit lighter that is actually chin music, and some of you would have gotten what looks like this, which is a lot darker, which is our barrel-aged Imperial Stout.
And that one's nothing to fear.
Nothing to fear. The reason we wanted to give you, I just threw a little bread in to try to get that coffee out of my mouth. Wanted to give you two different barrel-aged beers to highlight what barrel aging can do. So the first one, regardless of whether it's light or dark, is just to show you the typical barrel aging process. So if you smell it, in my mind, I do get some booze. I get some wood, and I get, in this case, because it's a dark beer, I get a lot of that, the strength of the beer. The guys with the lighter beers won't get so much of that.
So is it just barrel aged, or is there any like actual like alcohol in it? I mean, there's alcohol.
Nothing added.
Nothing added. So it's the barrel.
Yeah. It picks up a little bit from the barrel.
Mm-hmm. So the barrels were used for whiskey previously?
Yeah, for Cooperstown whiskey.
So it's like left. Okay, interesting.
They dump the barrels, and sometimes there'll be a lazy guy, doesn't dump them all that great. They get up here, our guys get them, and we flip them over, and we get barrel strength whiskey. I mean, uncut, 120, 130 proof stuff. I mean, incredible. And those are good days for us. So what you get here now is you get the wood, and these are what both of these beers were in first use. So these are young barrels they're soaked with bourbon. We throw the beer in, let it sit for 6-9 months,
depending on the beer. The heavier the beer, the longer it sits. The lighter the beer, less time it takes.
And what we're looking to do here is just extract a medium amount, not an intense amount. It shouldn't dry your mouth out. It shouldn't be like, oh, I'm chewing on a piece of wood, but you should hopefully get a little bit of bourbon, a little bit of oak, and then still have that beer integrity there with either the regular chin music or the Nothing to Fear. And they wanted to do chin music to develop the partnership, to have a lighter barrel-aged beer. Again, that's not all that typical, right? Most barrel-aged beers, like most coffee beers, are dark beers because that just sort of lends itself to that. And in keeping with our partnerships, it was like, no, let's do something just lightly barrel-aged. And it's a cream ale, right, that we do, and it's open to the masses, but gives a little twist and shows the character of their product. So that's barrel-aged beer number one. Easy, nice, traditional.
Is it kind of sweet, or am I making that up?
This one, the one you have is sweet.
The other one isn't.
The lighter one is not, and that's off the beer, but not the barrel aging.
Gotcha.
So the second one, called Lunch Break.
Yes, not lunch music. We were
Lunch
getting
music,
confused earlier. Chin music, lunch break.
This one bothers me because we named it Lunch Break, as we should have. Barrel aged saison, sort of being, what is that? French. So, it's kind of a spicy, light, easy drinking beer. And I think of it in summer and lunch break. All right, go out in the field and have one of these things. Throw it in a barrel, make it even a little better. Well, when they pulled it out of the barrel and put it in a keg and we tasted it, I was like, this is not that. So when you smell this, and we all have the same one here,
Yeah, everyone has lunch break.
I get wood. And it's pleasant, and
It smells like it tastes good.
yeah, it smells like it tastes
I'm not a black coffee drinker, so the obituary didn't smell like it tasted good
I
to
know.
me.
It's a good beer. So now, for something completely different, just throw this in your mouth, let it sit on your tongue for a minute.
I haven't had this one, I don't think.
No. Whoa. I don't know what that is. Is it wine? It's tart. It's sweet. It's so complex. And in my mind, this is probably the best beer I've ever had here. We had one keg of this, sold a little bit of it. And this one says, oh, why don't we do this tasting? And I'm like, oh, if we're going to do that, we better give them something really special. We had literally took this off keg and put in those jugs for you guys. I don't know. Tell them what happened to make this so different than the other one.
That's really a natural process. So there's yeast, wild organisms, yeast, bacteria that live in the barrel naturally. They'll infect the beer in a good way most of the time. Sometimes it's not, but this time it came out perfect.
So like right now, correct me again, I'm going into a territory I shouldn't go into, but in Belgium, they got the open fermenters and the wild yeast comes in and creates the natural souring beers.
Yep.
So when I've been here a year and a half or more, whatever, I didn't even know this beer was here. So it was forgotten about. And
2 years in the barrel. So it's older than Max has been here.
It's been at Northway longer than you.
Yeah. And so what happened was this natural souring, but and this is the most uncomfortable I'll ever be because I hate to geek out about beer, except for this one.
Is yeast normally used as a souring agent? I feel like yeast is in most beer, or no?
Yes. Yes and yes.
Okay.
There's a lot of yeast strains. Some sour, some don't. Some lager. Some are
Gotcha.
Belgian yeast. But there's bacteria involved too. This is probably a blend of bacteria and yeast.
Delicious.
So bacteria in beer is not always a bad thing. I mean, it seems like it, but
We'll get there later with the bacteria part.
Right.
So I don't know if you'll find this pleasing or pleasant or if it hits your taste buds. All I can say is this is the most interesting beer, and in my mind, one of the best beers we've ever done. And it's one keg, and it's gone, and you'll never.
So you can't reinvent it? Will you try?
No.
Get all your lab staff to
No. This
take
is
out these organisms.
this is the beauty of our life. We have this, we enjoy it. We chose to share this with you guys, and whether it hits your taste buds or not, hopefully at least you find it interesting and unique, and can enjoy the fact that after today, no one else is going to taste this. Any feedback on this beer?
Oh, we had some questions in there.
Oh, okay.
Most people saying turn the mic back up. Louder, please. Volume. Okay. I don't think we have any questions not related to volume, but hopefully the volume is good now.
Is that still an issue?
So you want to move on from Cooperstown?
Yeah, I think so. We do have Chin Music is a proprietary beer for them. So you can get that in both of their beverage exchange in Saratoga and in Cooperstown, and that'll be an ongoing process. And probably we will continue. We are just in talks with them to get some more barrels up here. So the barrel aging process with them is something that will keep going on. All right.
So next is Argyle.
Let's do Argyle.
Dave and I have built a cheese and yogurt manufacturing plant on the farm. The Randalls have milked cows here since 1860. We only milk 50 cows, make about 1 million pounds of milk a year. The key is we happen to make some of the best quality milk. What the cow gives is what goes in the vat. We make cheese and yogurt, and we just added gelato. We make a hard cheese, and we make soft cheeses. We make 4 different types of hard cheeses. We make Carafilly, which is a Welch cheese. The second kind is Grace, which is a cheese we developed here on the farm. And the third kind is Havarti, which is a fairly new cheese for us. It's the traditional Danish cheese. It's a nice, creamy, buttery cheese. And the fourth kind is our Revival. This is a cheddar. It's a Scottish cheddar. Then we make soft cheeses, which means that they aren't aged. Our most favorite is cheese curds. We make them in 5 flavors. They're a big favorite with kids and families. We make a cheese called Quark. It's a German cheese, but it's great for spreading or baking. We make feta in the summer, and we also make mozzarella in the summer. We make traditional whole milk yogurt. It comes from the cows to my vat, and I make yogurt. So there's no homogenization, there's no separation, it's just our straight milk. When people come to the market and look at our yogurt, they say, do you make a skim or no fat yogurt? The problem with that is that there are a lot of good nutritional vitamins and nutrients in the fat because they're only fat soluble, meaning that when you take that fat out, you've taken all that good nutrition out. People are fascinated about the remark I said, my husband milks the cows and I make the cheese. People like to know where their food comes from. Dave and I always said that when we started this, we had to figure out how to make a consistent, high quality product. You've got to exceed what the customer expects. And that's our goal, is to make a very delicious, distinctive cheese or yogurt.
I'm speechless after that, because how can you not love that woman? I want to show you this picture. We're going old school. So that's me and Joe and the rest of the brew team. As you can see, we are a very small company. And that's Marge in the middle. And we went up to visit. So JD is one of the brewers. We've been talking about doing sour beers, well, probably a year and a half ago, and it's not that easy, and it's not always that smart to do in a brewery this size, because it creates some risk. But anyways, we were fooling around with it, and one day JD's pretty quiet and says, Max, I know you love partners. Any chance you could find a yogurt company that would work with us that we could use to sour our beers? And maybe the happiest day of my life, because it was like, all right, this partnership thing is spreading, everyone's on board. And I reached out to a number of companies, and these guys responded. We took the team out, and you want to recount our first incident there as we went into that room?
Other original tasting or market room, retail space, I guess. I don't know how to describe it. I've been a 3x5 space with a small cooler with a window looking into their production facility, and yeah,
it was uncomfortable.
Yeah.
That's the one in Argyle.
In Argyle.
Yeah.
But Marge was like, yeah, I'd love the idea. I have no idea how that works or what it does, but yeah, we'll be happy to work with you guys. So this one was probably the one that was the biggest struggle, trying to work the process of
trying to get into our system. So we talked about yeast souring beer before. This is bacteria souring a beer.
Mm-hmm.
So the bacteria work on it for about 24 hours in the kettle, and then we boil it, kills all the bacteria, but it leaves a sour taste from the acidity from the lactic acid that the bacteria produces.
Yep.
So then it's a normal beer from then on. There's nothing live in it at that point. It's add yeast to it after that, and it's not normal.
So this is called
the
Cadillac Dreams. And we originally, this whole night has sort of morphed a little bit. We originally I visualized this more as a bite of food and a bite of beer, and I wanted to get this yeast or yogurt cheese that they had. And when I tasted the yogurt cheese with the beer, it was not good. And so we went to cheese curds to give you something to snack on, because we thought it would fit a little bit better, because the yogurt cheese and the yogurt beer was not good.
Everyone has a different type of cheese curd at home, though. So someone has dill, someone has roasted red pepper. So it's everyone has their own experience.
I was like a kid in the china shop when I went there. I was like, oh, I want to buy 4 of these. I'll buy 5 of these. I want to buy these. And ultimately, I wanted to try them all myself. So, all right. So if you smell this, and if you can remember back to the last one, this is very different. The aroma, it's a little bit thinner, a little tighter, not in a bad way.
It smells sour.
Mm-hmm.
That one did not. The lunch break didn't smell sour to me. It smells sour.
Yep. I love this, right? It's bright. There's a creaminess in the middle from that yogurt that you won't get in a lot of sours. It's tart. It's sharp. It's bright. Mm-hmm. There's strawberry for sure. The dry, not that sweet strawberry jam stuff, but like real strawberry taste. And then vanilla rolls around.
I don't know if you're gonna hate me for saying this, but it's reminding me of apple juice.
I don't think I could hate you. I don't get it, but the other reason I don't do these things, I hate doing this because I'm talking about what I taste, but that's what you're tasting. That's absolutely fine. Absolutely. Yeah. I get sort of the juiciness because we could go back and forth with, if you describe what you're tasting, I'm tasting it, but I'm describing it differently, right? Because our perceptions are different. Again, like what's your sweet tolerance? What's your salt tolerance? What you had for dinner is all going to affect everything. So that's why it's all about just trying and enjoying it. I love this beer. I love this concept. So to me, this is, like a fun, bright, tart little sour beer. And the barrel-aged Saison was a grandiose, aged, beautiful sipper. And this is fun, playful, and to me, that yogurt creaminess in the middle gives us a real tribute to Argyle Cheese Farm.
Question about, like, I see some beers have like with lactose. That's different than this. This is not, or is it? This is using the souring stuff, not necessarily the lactose stuff.
So lactobacillus bacteria
Okay.
is what sours the beer. It's an organism. There's lactose, which is a milk sugar, and yogurt and stuff. So it's a very small amount is in there because we use it to get to start the souring process.
Mhm.
But
It's not like you'd see like on an IPA that says with.
Right.
Gotcha.
The-
With
the-
lactose.
Yeah, the IPA we get the sugar.
Gotcha. Yeah, there's a few comments on here of people talking about the Tabitha says this is so good. Crew here is loving the creaminess not normally found in sours. Oh, that might have been from yeah, that's this one. The mouthfeel from the yogurt is incredible. People are liking this one.
Yes. This is fun. So this is called Cadillac Dreams. We so we have a great brand, Northway, with Pilsner and Sunrise and Burley, and we love those beers, and Avenue. But we wanted to fool around a little bit, so we've kind of created this compass logo to allow us to go in a different direction and freeze us up a little bit, so our graphics can go where we want, our naming can go where we want. This is from a Counting Crows song. St. Robinson is Cadillac Dreams, and it was like I had visions of Cadillacs flying, and that's how it morphed into a Cadillac flying into a cup of yogurt. And then Jen Kane, who's been doing all the background work for us, and has a pretty good graphic thing. And we decided to change the label, and she's actually the one who designed this most recent label. So this process, this partnership is just fun. It's just fun. And then when the beer comes out like this, it's even more fun.
How many beers do you guys have that you named after songs?
Everything other than the core. Color Deceives Me is Dead South. Infinite in Wisdom is Twiddle. Negative Input is Twiddle. What other ones?
Okay.
Pretty much all of them. Yeah. And
Hey, Valerie?
Yes, Abby.
It's not really a question, but I just wanted to point out that there is someone on here who's from Argyle.
Alyssa
has worked with, she's so mad at me. Alyssa, tell the story. Used to help them in their fields a long time ago, and knew they used to work on an honor system and just had some really great things to say about them.
I'm not seeing Alyssa. Oh, there you are. Yes, unmute yourself, Alyssa, and speak. Our resident Argyle, you're still muted. Maybe I have to unmute you. Okay.
I don't know if you can hear me or not. My audio is not working the best. Yeah, a lot of people that I know have helped them out in the farms and everything. And I grew up in Argyle, so I definitely was there quite a bit. And that 3x5 room that you were talking about is definitely small and popular. And I'm not sure if it's still on the honor system. I know that they opened a new store over in Hudson Falls, but when I would frequent there, it was definitely on the honor system, and you just walked in, put your money in, and you were out of there with your yogurt and your cheese curds.
That's unbelievable. I had like never really been to Argyle. It's way out there. It's not that far out there? What's far out there?
Canada.
And there was also one question that came in too. Is the strawberry vanilla the normal Cadillac Dreams or a special brew like the raspberry?
The original Cadillac Dreams had just a little bit of strawberry and vanilla. This version, a lot more. And then the chocolate raspberry is a riff off the base of this Cadillac Dreams. Did I answer that?
They don't have that, right? They don't have that on there.
No, that was in-house. The chocolate raspberry was in-house only. And that was us thinking, what other flavors of yogurt are there And I think maybe only Joe would say chocolate raspberry yogurt. I was like, well, sounds good to me. I never heard of it, but I like it. So
That's our best seller. That's what
Yeah.
I like there.
And Alyssa mentioned their Hudson Falls spot. When did that, you know?
not too.
Still like trying to get it fully functional, I think.
Oh,
but that's-
so just opened.
So it's still.
Is
yeah.
that 3x5 or is that
No.
larger?
Oh, it was very comfortable going there. It's beautiful. It's the old, it's on Burgoyne Ave in Hudson Falls. It's the old Lewis's supermarket. And they kind of actually made it look like the old store with the red stuff out front. And it feels the same, just not, claustrophobic. And there's big windows so you can look in, and the place is, it's like a spotless, beautiful production facility. And then they got the retail store out front with the yogurts and cheeses, and they got breads and all kinds of stuff. I don't know, they're the greatest, absolutely the greatest. I'll listen to that video over and over again, just to because she just hit, friggin' Marge, and she's a Giants fan, which I don't get, but
I feel like Marge is the appropriate name for a
Yes.
cheese farmer also.
But she said every buzzword in the most sincere way, and I believe it, and that's how it is, I think. So yeah, that's our partnership with Argyle Cheese Farmer, and hopefully what we were able to show you was an incredibly complex 2-year-old barrel-aged sour and a nice, fun, fresh yogurt soured. Similar category, similar style, but different process and sort of like opposite ends of the spectrum. But to me, both really, really fun beers.
Cool.
So I guess we go to our final partner.
Yes. Next up is Barkeater Chocolates. So we're going to watch a video.
Here at Barkeater Chocolates, the number one request is not for any particular confection or any particular flavor. Rather, it's to get an inside look at how we do things here. So we thought via this video, we would give you that inside look.
Working with chocolate is an art form here at Barkeater Chocolates. The first thing we have to do with the chocolate is break down the beta crystals. We do that by slowly raising the temperature, and we end up between 108 and 110 degrees depending on the cacao content of the chocolate we're working with. And then what we have to do is rebuild those beta crystals. And the way we do that is we lower the temperature. And again, the point in which we settle depends on the cacao content of the chocolate. This is a process we call tempering.
Chocolate is a very fickle product by nature, and we pride ourselves on mastering the processing and the production of our confections here at Barkeater Chocolates. And what we do is in the production area, we have very strict climate controls. Temperature, humidity, and timing of each stage of the process has to be perfect to assure that blooming doesn't happen. Now, blooming is simply a separation of cocoa butter and fat from the chocolate itself, and it can cause a white film or a gritty look to the chocolate. Certainly nothing wrong with the taste, but we like our chocolates to taste perfect and look perfect.
Once the chocolate's at the proper temperature, we will put them into molds or cups or sheets, depending on the product we're making at the time. But we have to work quickly so the chocolate doesn't set while we're working with it. Once we get it done and in our molds, we then have to put it in a cooling area so that it can set at the right temperature. Once the chocolate has set, we can unmold them. When we unmold them, we take careful inspection of the product. We have to make sure it looks great, has a great snap to it. Anything that passes inspection goes out to our retailers or goes to our store. Anything that doesn't pass inspection makes it to our oopsies bin. Barkeater confections that don't look so pretty, but taste fantastic.
The making of confections is a labor of love here at Barkeater Chocolates. The love of good chocolate that's craved by all our customers. Once you've had our chocolates, it's very difficult to go back to those that are mass-produced. This is precisely why we started Barkeater Chocolates. We wanted to create the most delicious, mouth-watering confections that people can't get enough of. It's not an easy process by any stretch, but it certainly is a rewarding one.
Barkeater Chocolates began in 2008 with truffles and a website. We have grown since then and now are in hundreds of retailers throughout the East Coast. And we have our Barkeater Chocolates factory store in the Adirondacks, where we see visitors from within the Adirondacks, and we see visitors and tourists from all over the country, all over the world, Europe, Asia, and Canada.
We never use artificial ingredients or fillers in our products. That's one of the things we pride on. We like to use all natural and the finest ingredients out there. And we do that because we want to enhance the taste of the chocolate in our confections, not disguise it.
Our fans keep coming back because they know our chocolate confections are not only delicious, but made with the best wholesome ingredients by a staff of dedicated chocolatiers who are as crazy about the quality as our customers are about the taste.
So I don't know if that video said, but that's in North Creek. It's actually right by Gore Mountain. I was driving by the other day. I have driven by a billion times and just started realizing once we started putting this event together.
Maybe you need to slow down and take it all in.
I'm never the one driving. I'm usually already asleep by that point. But
So 2 minutes on the road.
so this one is, what's it called?
This is called Barkeater Chocolate
Oh.
Cherry Stout. So this
Pretty
is
straightforward.
part of what we call our homegrown series. It's originally was designed primarily for the Hannaford supermarket. So they all the beers in this series have a similar look, but they're all focused on either a partnership or a local ingredient. When I came in, I wanted to do something that I could partner with the company. So I literally walked up and down the aisles inside of Hannaford, looked for a chocolate company that was local, found a tray. I actually bumped into it with my cart. And I was like, whoa, Barkeater. Bought a couple bars, brought it into the boys. We sat down, tasted it. They gave it the approval from a quality standpoint. I called up those guys. They're like, yeah, we're interested. Once again, we all went up to their place, met each other, brought beers. They gave us chocolate, and we kind of fell in love with each other. And I watched that video again. I'm like, yeah, why wouldn't we want to do business with those guys? It's not just saying the right thing. They're doing the right thing. They're committed. And so this was a kind of a break. From what we were doing. We did strawberry wheat, apple pie, and then Barkeater chocolate cherry stout. This is probably the one that's closest to what you might expect from the chocolate bar that you got to this. I smell the stout. I don't smell
chocolate on
I smell chocolate. I don't smell it. Is that apple juice?
Cherry juice?
Cherry juice.
No, there's no juice smell. That one tastes chocolatey.
Chocolate cherry stout. There it is.
People say that beers have a chocolatey notes, but I don't know what that means. This tastes chocolatey to me.
There's actual chocolate
Right.
in this beer.
Yeah. Question.
Yep.
Another stupid question. Stouts and porters are both dark. Yes.
Yeah.
What's the difference?
Yeah. How long do we have?
The abbreviated version.
So there's no difference. Abbreviated.
Okay.
It's a long story, but
They're similar.
that's
Okay.
the same. I usually tell people one's dry, one's sweet. Typically, South is on the sweeter side. Porter's a little more dry, but at the end of the day, there's no difference.
Interesting.
Yeah, maybe in the day you would have thought the porter would be a little lighter and the stout would be a little heavier. Anecdotally, right now, or not even now, after however many years of small brewers, the lines just get so blurred.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the only thing you could actually count on is that a stout should be dark.
Mm-hmm.
Although guys are trying to do light stouts, right?
Yeah. And stout just meant strong. So you get a strong beer.
Anything that's
traditionally.
strong.
So any strong beer is a stout beer, but that's like look at the porter thing. But yeah.
But then we go to Guinness Stout, which is
right
4.5% or something like that, and low calorie and low carbonation. So yeah, it's hard. And what you hope from my perspective on the sales side is that you try to send as clear a message as you can in your naming, even though you're going from a song to something, but you hope, at least in my mind, and the description is there that you can kind of get what you expect, but it's all over the board. It's hard. This beer had to be, in my mind, if we're working with a chocolate company, just like Obituary is a coffee beer. If we do another beer, and we've got other beers in play with these guys, I don't know that we're going to be as chocolate heavy, but for this initial one and for this market, wanted it to be. You want a chocolate cherry stout? Boom, that's chocolate, that's cherry, that's a stout. We're looking at, I'm not gonna tell you what, because who knows? But we're looking at some other stuff that will be crooked, more in the crooked thinking line. You'll be like, there's chocolate in there? Yeah, just kind of like
social media to see what we're gonna come up with soon.
All right. And then, so getting the chocolate into the beer, how do you do that?
So we use the same cacao nibs that Barkeater uses.
Okay.
And
So it's before it becomes like actual chocolate.
Yeah.
It's not like you melt down the chocolate.
Right. No, we're not.
I don't know what I'm envisioning, but
we're not throwing candy bars.
Something Charlie in the Chocolate
Not
Factory,
yet.
river of chocolate.
Maybe we'll want the pilot sometime. That's,
You put apple pie in the apple pie beer.
I did, yeah. Just like makes a nice picture. But I think there's about 88 pounds of raw chocolate in this beer. So in 100-barrel batch. And then there's probably 800 pounds of cherry puree that goes into it.
Huh?
That's a lot. Yeah. They come in 42-pound bags, and we dump them all in by hand, and it's a process.
Okay. All right. Let me see if we have anybody.
Yeah, Natalie, there actually are 2 questions, and they're not about the chocolate. Everyone's loving the chocolate. So, the 2 questions are, 1, what is the alcohol content of the 2 that came in the plastic, the chin music and the lunch break?
The lunch break is 7, I believe. And the chin music, for those that have it, is I think 5.5. And the
Nothing
ones
to
who
fear.
don't have, there's nothing to fear.
That say chin music on the label,
But it's
but it's
black.
actually black.
It's around 13.
13.
Be
Yeah.
careful with that one. If anyone is still drinking.
Stop drinking. Awesome, thank you. And then when Northway is open this summer, the outdoor area, do you allow dogs?
We allow dogs all the time. Indoors and
I
outdoors.
spotted a dog here yesterday.
It is the most dog friendly. Well, we're fortunate because everyone that brings their dogs bring good dogs. But there's dogs here all the time, including my favorite, Maggie. And if you follow her social media, you'll see her, the beautiful Sheltie that she is. You met her yesterday.
I did.
She is the babe, and she is the babe of the brewery. She controls the entire room.
She's
Awesome. A lot of dog lovers on here, I know. So super happy. Another question came in addition to Maggie fan love, I guess. Someone says, if you're comfortable discuss, some of the behind the scenes, how do your collaborations actually work? Do the collaborators help craft the recipes? Do they consult, or is it more on the marketing side?
A little bit of both. Mostly, they definitely have the final approval pretty much, but it's a combination of the.
right. Marge said she didn't know, what she was doing.
Yeah.
She knows how to make yogurt, not beer.
I guess we showed, the picture of the Death Wish partnerships now. So that even goes way deeper, right? When we established the relationship with Northway, we had 5 interactions up here with my contact, John, and then Mike, who owns the company, his assistant was here. And then they came, then the marketing people came, we sampled with them, and we actually went down. They're located at exit 10. So we went down to the mill, sat outside, had their entire team there, and we presented them with a bunch of different options. They filled out a survey, and that's kind of how the next Death Wish beer evolved. We don't do that with everyone, but that was kind of like, bringing everybody together again. Barkeater, they come here all the time. Joe we did a black IPA, and you did it with orange chocolate. So we released that just here in the tap room. They came down. We talk to them all the time. They're all right. I'm going to tell you, one of the beers we're working on is a peanut butter stout, peanut butter chocolate stout, because we have been beating him for it. He doesn't want to do it. Finally, they beat him and brought him an entire box of Barkeater chocolate peanut butter cups. And I think that's what push it over the edge. So we will now have a chocolate peanut butter stout that we've been asking for a long time, but we finally broken him, and we will get that. Cooperstown, it was more, oh God, they've been here. They've been here more than I've been here.
Yeah.
Sampling, tasting, that's maybe boring. They came here, we got along with the guys really well. They're going to open up the place in Saratoga. This is a few months back. We have this Nothing to Fear beer, and it had not been barrel aged at that time, right?
Right.
Yeah, because we're going in the summer or something.
Yeah.
And so the owner, Gene, loved the beer, and he's like, "Any way you could barrel age this?" I'm like, "No, we don't. We only have a little bit of it." And it's like 13%. It's ridiculously expensive. Yeah, but I really like it. Me, like if you asked me to do something right now, I'd probably say yes. He's like, "You sure you couldn't barrel age that?" And I was like, "Ugh." I look at Joe. It's like, "All right, here's what we'll do. We will do one barrel for your opening. We're going to do another barrel for your anniversary." And so that's how that partnership has evolved.
Were you guys at the Cooperstown Beverage Exchange before they came to Saratoga?
Yes.
So you knew that it wasn't like they came to Saratoga and you met up. That was
No. We've had the
okay.
partnership in Cooperstown for a while, and I have a long-term relationship with one of the investors behind it as well.
So the peanut butter has sparked a lot of interest. People would like to know, is it going to be available retail or just in the tap room? And how do we find out when it's being released? Like the second it's going to be released.
Social media, definitely.
Okay.
Let's post a lot on social media.
This first one, so we had a meeting today, and I said we're going to try to grow up a little bit. We're going to try to plan a little bit more instead of just friggin' winging everything we do. So this will be, we're going to release it. It'll be tap room draft only. We probably will run a very limited amount of cans that will be tap room only, assuming it's not even, but we're still scared every time. We're not going to assume that it's going to be great. We know it's going to be great. We're going to pretend it's not going to be. When it's great, we'll be like, it's great. Customers love it. Yes. And then I think you can look for, assuming all that goes, you can look for a much wider release in the fall. And I didn't say any of that.
So watch social media.
Yes. God, talkative.
Anything else, Abby?
No, those are all the questions I think in the chat, but
yeah, we'll check out the chat after. It's kind of too far away for us to read, but we'll check out all the
we can
comments
stay on.
after.
We can read all the fangirl stuff about peanut butter and dogs mostly.
Any requests, I guess?
Any requests?
Ooh, yeah, you got us in a soft spot. We'll say yes to anything.
Yeah. What we missed is the interaction input from you guys. That's been the hardest part.
Yeah, so there, I don't know if I'm sure you guys are on Facebook. Myself, my friend here, Bob, we're there's 518 Brews, and I know they have a lot of different breweries that are part of it. And I was mentioned to the guy that heads it the other day that I was getting on this Zoom tasting. So now he's trying to put together a tasting with various brewers, you know, just based on me telling him, hey, this is what we're doing. And Abby, I'm not trying to steal your thunder by any means. It's just a bunch of beer enthusiasts that are on Facebook and always posting different, hey, what are you drinking tonight type of things. So, you know, I know that they reach out to us as people stopping at different breweries that just like beer. So I don't know if that's something that you guys are into as far as getting on social media like that. Obviously get your names out there by interacting that way.
Yeah, we never do stuff like this, but we did it for her. But well, yeah, I mean, we'll do.
I didn't ask for this.
Who knows? I mean, this was fun. This is more fun than was more fun than I thought it might be.
Obviously, in-person tastings are a lot more fun, but hey, until then, I mean, if more people can go to your brewery and buy your beers, then
win-win.
Win-win.
Yeah. I mean,
That's a great segue to tell everybody I hope everyone loved everything you tasted and continue to support everyone that supported this event. I don't know if Max and Joe, you want to talk about how you can find everything that you tasted tonight, or where you're trying to send people to buy more beers and treats. Let everyone know.
So all of our core beers, Sunrise, Pilsner, Avenue, Burley, are pretty well distributed. You'll find our beers in Price Chopper, Hannaford, for sure. Stewart's a little bit is helping us out quite a bit. Tops for sure. Beverage centers are kind of our lifeblood as well for the cores, but they're also the ones that will take on the one-offs, the ones that we actually can with a proper label and stuff.
There's a Minogues up here, right?
Yep, Minogues, Queensbury.
And then in Saratoga also, Malta.
All those guys, all those beverage centers basically are our conduit to the small scale one-off brews that aren't designed for chain stores and are priced outside of sort of the chain store price point. Barkeater is in Price Choppers for sure, in some racks in Hannaford, and a lot of specialty stores.
I feel like you get the full experience though if you're up in North Creek. Like that's the best case scenario to go to Nashville.
I went up there when I went up to buy the chocolate. Those guys were like there working it, and they gave me a little box of truffles for me for showing up. And then Argyle and Hudson Falls. I will go there. I will go there even though it's a pain and hard to get to, just because they are so cool. And
amazing. Oh, go ahead.
Death Wish has now, luckily, and here's the thing with those guys, even as big and ridiculously massive as they become, they've not lost that core commitment to their relationships and sincerity and gentlemanness, and not only do they work with us, they could work with any brewery, any size. You visualize a national brewery, they could be doing beers with them, and they chose to work with us, and then support our charity. There's a lot of credit to those guys. They've been spectacular.
And then Cooperstown.
Oh, Cooperstown.
In Saratoga.
Oh, yeah, most people here did pick up in Saratoga, not everybody, but I think everyone was really excited about the new distillery spot on Broadway in Saratoga.
It's been pretty popular. I've been downtown on a weekend night, and there were tons of people like streaming in there. It seems like it's doing decently well opening during COVID.
He said that they were flooded for a while, and now it's just kind of January, February, winter. Yeah, but definitely popular. And then Joe, you asked for your requests, so they're pouring in.
Lay on us.
A personal favorite of mine, s'mores. Someone, Double Dog dares you to do a green tea IPA or DIPA.
Yes.
I love the milkshakes, mango and guava. Any coffee milkshakes? Dustin, who we shouted out at the beginning for the cover of the Capital Region Living, works at the Auto Museum and Avenue of the Pines, and thanks you for the Avenue of the Pines beer that you guys do.
Sweet.
So anyway, are there any other requests you guys can shout out? But those were some good ones, I thought.
That's what I'm here for. That's what we do.
So here's something I shouldn't do, and I'm going to do anyways. So I've got this beautiful, looks like a glass of rosé in front of me, and I've been in love with this. It's seltzer that Joe put together. It was just a basic seltzer. We've tried different flavors, and like every other seltzer, they taste lousy with extract, but no carbs, low fat. This he made with a tea, and I don't know, what was it called? Some Hawaiian tea thing.
Hawaiian laid blend.
Yeah, so it's got hibiscus and I don't know, pineapple.
Fruit,
but it's this beautiful, you probably can't see it, but it's this beautiful rosé color. And it's just got a taste that is clean and natural. And it has inspired us to now reach out to Saratoga Tea and Honey, and there's no deal yet, but we've met, we've talked, and we hope to work with them. And that green tea IPA is in my head that will not go away. If we dabble in seltzer, it's just going to be a dalliance for fun because we can't compete with those guys. But green tea IPA, count on it.
I mean, I've had a lot of seltzers, and that's probably I just had a sip of it earlier, but that's probably my favorite. I don't know. It's not like, I don't know.
It
tastes good, yeah. It kind of doesn't even taste like it has alcohol.
But it does.
But it does.
It definitely does. I promise.
You put it in. You put the alcohol in.
Some other questions. Are there any collaborations with other brewers in the works? And then someone else says, Hillary, how about Thunderbird and Firebird to continue the Cadillac theme?
Ooh, I like that.
Other brewers. So to me, I'll collaborate with other brewers that I've worked with in the past. I've gone to other breweries. So I'm going to reach out to a few of my friends. We've done it in the past with Wall and a Paw Pack in Pennsylvania. Probably heard of them, but it's more of a fun thing. I like the collaborations that are more local with other businesses that are more unique instead of other breweries. We all make the same thing pretty much at the end of the day, so it's fun to change it up.
But you do like partner, don't you do like some people use your brewery for, don't you do like some sharing of, or no?
Yeah, well, we did the thing with Unified, the fundraiser beer for.
Yeah, we did that.
I think that's kind of like we're Negative Input was a collaboration with the 5 other breweries towards Brew United. The beer we did with Unified was for our taproom manager's buddies. Mom had all kinds of medical stuff, and so we did that beer and donated the proceeds to that. That's probably our angle with collaborations, because our part, I don't know, just working with different companies just seems to be our sweet spot.
And one other thing, lavender. There's a local lavender farm. Any interest?
Now we're talking.
Well, I hate lavender, but
Yeah, I have to agree with that one too.
but you know what? You never know. There's stuff that scares me. Lavender scares me, but
I actually tried a lavender seltzer, maybe. I don't know.
But
Where's the farm?
Hillary, do you want to jump on and talk about the lavender farm?
And what do you do there? Do you eat?
I don't even know what it is, but it scares me.
I've only been to one lavender farm in Hawaii, but you can take tours and I don't know. Is Hillary still on? Okay, they're saying you pick lavender. And there is one at Fort Ann. Oh, and then someone else says, being in the North Country, what about a maple amber?
I would like that.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
That one's more of your style.
God, all right. So we just got taps. We have maple trees in front of our building, and we are going to tap the trees, and we are going to, and you can see how uncomfortable Joe is with this, but yeah, we got a maple beer in play too. Small scale tap room, see how it goes. But yeah, well, we're giving it away.
I know you are. I wasn't gonna bring up the tea thing. My question is, what type of food do you have at the food truck?
Yeah, so right now, because of the weather, food truck we've got kind of on hold. So we've been doing kind of in-house walking tacos, and we were planning, we Barrel House in Saratoga did the food truck for us last summer, and thankfully we had a partner that was able to work with us because we had no idea what was going to happen with COVID and what the response was going to be. And because of that massive outdoor space we have, we were incredibly busy. Pretty much Jen, myself, Ryan, and Joe, we were all taproom focused when we weren't doing our own jobs. But this year our plan is to take the food truck over and turn it into, a food destination with a release plan coming in the next few weeks. Because we're hoping, if we're lucky, maybe mid-March, we can at least tolerate being outside.
Yeah. Something else just came in, Abby. What do we got? Oh, Lavender Farm in Fort Anne.
Yeah, we will absolutely experiment with that. I don't know, because that, that scares me. So but that'll be fun. Why not? We'll check it out and see.
Yes, and someone here is saying the maple beer could be for brunch, similar to a mimosa, and that actually came up a lot with the earlier coffee beers. People were calling it a perfect St. Patrick's Day beer and a breakfast beer.
Breakfast beer.
Irish coffee beer.
And then someone also brought up Beekman 1802, which we all love, in Sharon Springs as another farm.
I don't really. What do they like specialize in? They do goat stuff, right, Abby?
Well, they do. I know that I'm actually signed up for a maple tasting there at the end of this month, so that could have been part of the maple conversation, maybe.
If you didn't have maple trees in your backyard, front yard.
Well, I don't know. I think we're going to need a little extra
A
maple
little
help.
bit more maple than the.
Be a very small bag.
So, all right.
Anybody?
Last question, then we'll probably call it. Are there any events at the brewery on the calendar that we can mark our calendars with?
Oh, hopefully soon. We will be able to do events. The next thing that we're going to do, our next focus is going to be the Miracle on Ice rollout. We'll be up in Lake Placid. I don't know what it's going to look like. I don't know what we can do. We can't talk to people, but we've run into some really interested people in building a monument up there, and it's basically a vision of all the players. When Eruzione got the gold, he went up as team captain and got the gold, and then called up the whole team, and they all went on the platform and raised their hands. And so there's a group from Orta and all sorts of other people that want to build this life-size statue of the players up there. So we got into the Miracle on Ice beer, and that's going to be our kind of driving force to not. It's expensive statue, so we're not going to be able to we're not going to do the heavy lifting, but we're going to try to help get the word out and do what we can. So next week's focus is going to be on that, because next year is the 41 anniversary. We look to have a press release coming out on the 22nd, which is the anniversary date, which hopefully will announce a few more players getting on board behind this beer and really launch a fundraising effort to help build that monument.
Have you watched the Disney movie Miracle yet?
Yeah.
I watched it 2 Saturdays ago because my boyfriend will not stop watching it over and over and over again.
No, I've been saving it. Like, I don't know what I'm saving
for 2 weeks from now.
Yeah.
For the 41st anniversary.
I'm gonna just be running in the streets of Lake Placid. But yeah, our hope is to be able to get some music here, support musicians, and get stuff going. But we've taken our safety measures here very, very seriously. We've got a lot of space and high ceilings, and we sanitize like crazy. And the staff is super committed to when people are comfortable coming out, they come here, feel good, feel safe. And so we're kind of taking it slow. We're our position isn't we don't grab, we don't chase. We're trying to build a long-term brand here and play by the rules and be a good citizen. And my final sort of message is, in the last 2 days, as we started at the beginning, Brew United, which is the foundation that we created to help local tip workers, has surpassed, after tonight, over $50,000 in direct payments to local hospitality workers. So we have done everything from pinups in bars to cups in beverage centers to t-shirt sales to auctions. And this event, this program is going to continue. We found out in the last 2 days, we received another $11,000 from Ball Corp, and I'm embarrassed that I can't remember, Saratoga County something. But my personal then commitment is when we get a corporate donation like that, we work our butts off to try to then raise an equal amount of money and donate it back to hospitality workers, frontline workers, and healthcare workers in the form of direct payments. And that's going to be our mission over the next month, to match that 11 grand that we just got. So you guys are helping us tonight, and if you could spread the word and help us out, that would be tremendous.
Amazing. I think that is all. So thank you guys all for coming. If you need to rewatch this for any reason, I'm going to be posting it on the Saratoga Living website so you can share it with your friends if they missed it, and I'll put in info of where to get all of the items so you can kind of recreate it. So.
Oh, and maybe there's some people that didn't get glasses.
Oh yes, and we added in for the people that picked up today. That seems like way longer ago than today.
Yes.
But today we added in their obituary glasses,
Yep.
right? So if you picked up yesterday or early this morning, you wouldn't have gotten one of those glasses. But if you come up to the brewery in Queensbury and say you were on the call and didn't get an obituary glass, they will give you one.
Yep.
So yeah, that is all. I think everyone is saying thank you for a fun night. They had fun. Everyone had fun.
Good.
Amazing.
I had fun.
Okay. Thank you guys.
Cheers. Thank you.
Bye-bye. I think we just have particular.
Oh.
I know.
Yeah, I'm like that.
I didn't click the button. Thank you, Alyssa, for your guest appearance. Alyssa, what did you do, Alyssa? Or is she gone?
I think she's frozen.
Oh, she's frozen but gone. What did you say she was doing? Throwing hay onto the fields?
She said she helped out in the fields when she was younger.
Like the cow fields?
I wanted her to explain.
She's here with us, but
She's just frozen.
okay. I think
So I think that the chat does go away when you sign off. So I wanted to stay on just to let you know if you wanted to go through and screenshot anybody, or you guys read them since you didn't get to see I didn't read all the fangirl stuff. I just read most of the questions.
Yeah, I'll stay on and screenshot. I also meant to tell everybody to take pictures again, but oh well.
Oh yeah, we forgot. Okay.
Thanks, guys. It was
Thank
great.
you, Dustin.
Thanks, Dustin.
Woo! Woo! Yeah, we got to take a picture.
Yes.
All four of us.
Because you're right. It probably won't. Yeah.
Okay, let me screenshot these.
I took 2 screenshots of the group.
Okay.
We'll take a selfie.
That one guy had so much to say.
I know. I didn't know that he was from the Facebook group that we posted to.
Was that the one I posted in? Because I don't quite know if that's the one I posted in. I posted in. What did he call it?
518 Brew.
I put it in Capital Region Craft Beer Lovers.
Oh.
I don't know. I assume Dustin put it in the correct things though.
Dustin did say, well, I sent it to you today.
Oh, well, there you go.
The story everywhere.
Sorry, let me just. It's mostly just people saying awesome and we love you. Yeah.
Awesome. Maybe you guys want to read them? You guys did such a great job. We had a crazy house here, so I feel like I was.
No, that was perfect, and it was nice that we were just like a tiny bit too far away to read the questions, and then Jen was behind the computer, like trying to.
You doubted me, and I was like, no, they're all about the microphone. I'm reading you every question. By the way, this is still recording. If you want to stop that.
I can cut the video short. I can't stop it until it ends. Oh, stop recording.